Your Majesty at your service. Welcome to Fair Queen Talks. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of my podcast, Manifest Your Goals. We made it to March, spring is around the corner, and we're heading towards the first quarter of the year. The shops here in the UK are already stocking up the Easter chocolates, and I had to remind myself of the goals I had set for this year, which is to not snack on junk food unnecessarily. It has literally took me a week to finish my Valentine's Day snacks. The 2020 version of me would have finished it within an hour because I used to binge on snacks. However, with this whole new year, new me energy, I've been able to introduce consciousness and self-control in this department of my life. Speaking of goals, how are you getting on with your own goals? This time of the year, it's easy to slack off, but I'm here to remind you that when you are goal-focused, you have a sense of direction and discipline in your life that will allow you to be prepared to identify opportunities that will lead you to your greatness. And this is what I want for you. In the world of motivation and goals, you will often hear the word manifestation. On this episode, I want to explore the idea of manifesting your goals and dreams. I also have some exciting news to share with you regarding my own goals for this year. Manifestation refers to the various self-help strategies intended to bring about a personal goal, primarily by focusing one's thoughts upon the desired outcome. The techniques are based on the law of attraction of New Thought spirituality. Now, I'm not well versed into these new age theories and ways of life like the law of attraction, but I do subscribe to the idea that our mind is a very powerful thing, and what we tell ourselves in our mind can impact us. Natalie Guerin from the Huffington Post, in an article called 7 Steps to Manifest Anything You Want, including money, shared 7 tips in her blog post, which are the following. This is all about manifestation. So, here we go. 1. Get clear on what you want. 2. Ask the universe for it. 3. Take action. So help the universe make it happen. 4. Trust the process. 5. Acknowledge what is being sent to you along the way. 6. Increase your vibration. And 7. Clear all resistance. These tips are pretty straightforward and make sense to me. As a person of faith, opposed to asking the universe, I would pray about the goals I am setting and consider how these goals would make me a better person and a blessing to the world. Once I received an answer to that prayer, I would take actions that are necessary to achieve those goals and trust the process. What I think is important about step 5 is that we have to acknowledge what is being sent to us along the way. When we face challenges, promptings, or get gut feelings, it's important to recognize it, think about it, and see how helpful it is to our lives and respond to that feeling. Even when we are facing challenges, when we are working towards goals, we have to be able to see the silver lining. For those who aren't familiar with this metaphor, a silver lining is a metaphor for optimism in the common English language, which means a negative occurrence may have a positive aspect to it. Goal-focused people are optimistic and therefore view challenges as opportunities. So remember that when you are going through your challenges this year. Point 6, that speaks about increasing your vibration, is one of those new age ideas I have learned in recent years. According to the law of attraction, you attract what you're sending out. To attract more of what you want, you have to raise your vibration. Vibrations are like a little radio signal you are continuously sending out to the universe. You must tune your signal to a vibration worthy of receiving it. So you could stay positive and be thankful, for example. So all you have to do is to feel joy or be happy. So by spending 10 to 15 minutes a day at least doing something that makes you feel good, like watching a YouTube video, listening to Fairy Queen Talks, meditating, ensures that your vibrations stay high. I understand this idea in the concept that was taught by my mother. She shared with me that when we do good to others, God will be good with us or to us. This is important to me because it reminds me that being a good person isn't just a good way of living, but it will bless your life. The last point, point number 7, is so important to remember. We have to clear all forms of resistance, especially internal ones, like feelings of doubt, pain, procrastination, frustrations, anxiety, fears, regrets, and resentments. These are all forms of resistance. By letting go of those things and recognizing it as an enemy to our progress, we can combat those feelings and let them go like a bad habit. I would say that I can be a confident person, but at times I do suffer from anxiety, and it manifests itself in the weirdest ways. I found that breathing techniques have helped me to hype myself up or calm myself down by speaking to my inner self that is panicking. You will find your own way of letting go of the things that stop you from tapping into your own greatness. So this year, I've done something completely new, which is picking a word that I'm focusing on for this year. The word I picked for this year is growth, which applies to every part of my life. One way I am growing is in my confidence to try new things. This past January, I saw a casting call for a video and podcast show based in London. I saved this on my phone and sat on it for ages because I was trying to figure out whether this would be for me. Because I live outside of London, I thought this probably wouldn't be something for me. However, the 2021 version of me that is all about growth and being brave enough to grow reached out to the show and asked if I could audition despite living outside of London. Their response to me was that unfortunately I had to live in London. Now I won't lie, it did hurt me for a hot minute, but I let it go and I asked and I tried, so at least I live a life with no regrets. A week or so later, they DM'd me and said that due to the ongoing pandemic, they were considering applications outside of London because the production is currently being held remotely. I jumped at the opportunity and I'm now in the final stage of the casting process, which means I can participate in 9 episodes, after which I will find out whether I made the final cut. So, the exciting news is that I have to share with you is that your Fairy Queen Tatiana, is going to appear on episode 46 of Ethnically Speaking, the show where they discuss everything affecting the UK's highly melanated communities, from current affairs to pop culture and everything in between. And the first episode that I'm going to appear on airs on Friday, 5th of March, the date that this episode of Fairy Queen Talks is also released. You can tune in to the show on YouTube and Spotify. If you want to find out more about the show, you can find them on Instagram, where I found them, at United Melanin Co. The United Melanin Group is a creative media brand empowering UK people of colour to tell their stories uncensored and unfiltered. I came across Ethnically Speaking last year and have been hooked ever since. It's just great to see and hear the voices of melanated people in the UK. I personally consume a lot of American content because of the diversity in media and also the type of content they provide. I am loving that people in the UK are building media brands, and I want to support UK content creators because as much as I love United States content, there is something about hearing the voices of people who experience a world that you live in, people you can relate with and have a closer proximity with geographically and societal experiences. Last month, I also had the opportunity to host a virtual community conversation with young people from the Angolan community in Nottingham about the impact of COVID on the Angolan community. The conversation was so insightful and representative of the variety of views, which was really refreshing to hear. This was in partnership with the Nottingham Equal and Angolan Women Voice Association UK. If you go on my YouTube channel, Fairy Queen Talks, and look on my playlist, you'll be able to find all the projects I do outside of Fairy Queen Talks. What I've learned in the first quarter of setting my goals and now being in a place that I'm growing and being intentional is that we can literally achieve so much from home. We may be limited to what we can do outside of our homes because of the pandemic, but we are blessed to live in a world where the possibilities and opportunities are unlimited in our homes. My intention for my podcast this year was to become open to the idea of connecting with other podcasters, and this year you are seeing me and hearing my voice with other amazing individuals and organizations. I will continue tapping into my greatness from home, and it is my hope that you are doing this too. I would love to hear from you and see how you're getting on with your goals at the end of this quarter. So feel free to communicate with me on Instagram at FairyQueenTatiana or send an email to fairyqueendom@gmail.com. At the end of each episode, I address the queendom. Manifest your goals in the way that suits you. Trust the process and always see the silver lining. Let go of thoughts and people who are an enemy to your progress in life. Check out Ethnically Speaking on YouTube or Spotify. The possibilities of opportunities are endless. Thank you so much for listening to Fairy Queen Talks. See you next time.